Hi, everyone. Welcome back to the Franz Experience. I'm your host, Franz. We are kicking off or have kicked off season two. If this is your first time following with us, go ahead and follow us at www.thefranzexperience.life, where we believe you were definitely bumped on course and the mission is possible. Right next to me, I have this amazing duo who has been bringing the vibe, the music, the sound to the world. They've been traveling everywhere. You can follow them and check them out at www.knotz.com. This is Knotz and Christine Elise bringing the new vibes to you all. And welcome. We are so happy to have you on the show. Please, everyone, welcome them with me. Welcome to the show. Welcome back to the show. Hey, Christine, I'm so
Thank you.
happy.
Thank you.
How have you been, first and foremost?
Been great.
Been busy.
Busy,
Yeah.
staying busy.
Yes, a lot of traveling going on. You just had some very new, I want to say, was it February 13th, kind of like a Valentine's Day thing going on called High Vibrations, first single that you kicked out in 2024. I mean, tell us
Yeah.
about that. High Vibrations, man.
Yeah, that was like, so we wanted to 2024, our aim is to release a lot of music. We have this amazing album done and we're like, let's kick it off with something high vibration, and this was like an ode to like the Philly soul disco era, but also modernizing it with what we do. So we were really excited to put that out, and it also has that nostalgic vibe and sound to it. So we were like, all right, let's do the roller skating thing. And made a video to accompany, the song and the vibe. It's always nice to give a visual. So
Right,
yeah, we
right.
were we're happy with that,
Yeah.
and we're happy that we released it.
That sounds awesome. And you have something else. You have a second single coming out, and that's coming out in March, right? Let's say March the 13th. And that one's called what? Rotation, right? Put it in rotation. I don't know. You got to remember it that way. Put it
Exactly.
in
All the
rotation.
subliminal messages. Keep it in
Keep
rotation.
it
That's
going.
right. That's right. Because I mean, why wouldn't you? You want to have that wonderful sound that you both bring. And I know you have a new album.
Yes.
Don't tell me.
Oh,
It's coming out April 9th.
true.
Is it Hypnagogia? Did I get
Yes.
it? Woo! Yes. And I'm telling you, like, I'm hypnotized and ready to hear some Hypnagogia. I'm telling you, I'm excited. You guys got some sounds and some names that's just going to just blow everybody's mind. I remember seeing you guys live perform in Ardmore Music Hall. That wasn't
Yeah.
the first time seeing you perform, but it's that just stuck with me because Ardmore Music Hall is very famous for performances, and we vibe. We really did vibe, and that's what you get when you go see these guys in concert. When you check out their music, I play it in my car. It's a vibe. It's definitely a vibe. So tell us, on the Franz Experience, a lot of what we do is motivate. And the reason why I have you back is because the way that people express themselves, the way that people can heal is sound, is music, is vibration.
For sure.
The power of vibration is so important. And your message is always healing. It's always something that we want to just vibe to. And I'm all about inspiring, healing, and motivating. And that's why I really wanted you both back. So, Christine, if you could share with our audience what instrument you play. I know you don't have it with you. Maybe it's back there. I don't see it, but you guys got to check this out. It's very unique. But share, Christine, what you have, what you play on a regular.
Yeah, so I play the harp. I play a lever harp, which means every string has a little lever. So if you go to a show, often between songs, you see me switching all the levers to play, and I sing a lot of the choruses.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you've done some, I believe, I know you guys did, I can't remember exactly the name of it, but you did some therapies for, was it the children, right? You volunteered, did some therapy sessions, some music therapy sessions. Talk a little bit about that and how that works, please.
Yeah, so before this performance project, I was a full-time music therapist, working outside of Philly. And we really took all of those skills that we both have, and put it into this project, which is cool. So taking what I learned from all of that experience and having it be an invitation to bring it into here. And it has invited us to do workshops, to go to schools and do assemblies, after school programs, some residencies, outpatient psych programs, community centers, yoga facilities. And the essence of it is taking our music, which could be the themes in the lyrics, or even just music without any words, and using that as some kind of tool for expression. So kind of just putting it out there and allowing people to resonate with what they resonate with and see really where that takes them. So it's different in every single situation that we kind of craft.
Right. Wonderful. Thank you. It's important that our viewers know a little bit about the history. So when you put forth music, I mean, everything is beautiful that is produced in its own fashion, but you're very creative in what you put out. The vibe, the sound, the trembles, the different tunes that you put in, you craft, and you're very particular about what and how it's going to sound to the ear.
Sure.
And that's very important, because in music therapy, you know, a vibration can change a person's emotional being. They can be sad one moment and hear a tune, and it can just take them somewhere else, very soothing and relaxing.
So true.
So Koof, and for you, if you can share, like, what got you started into music? I know we talked about this in our first appearance, but I wanna, you know, go back again, even though it's a fresh time in 2024. Let's go back and
Let's
talk
take it
about
back.
how you got started into this space with music.
Yeah. Well, growing up, I was in a household where music was pretty much the center of everything going on in the house. Like no matter when it was or what was going on, there was always music playing. It was either my brother or my grandmother. My grandmother was very into gospel and she sang gospel. So she'd be, you know, humming or singing gospel songs or just have them on the radio. And my brother, he rapped and he listened to all kind of rap. Uh, and so I was around it pretty much 24/7. And I guess I kind of just, you know, inherited it and wanted to create what I was hearing and do what my brother was doing. And there was something just about music that just felt special and made me happy, you know? And yeah, so that was growing up. I guess I really took a step into it during elementary school, like for the talent shows. I wanted to, you know, write raps for that. We had the thing where the kids run for school president or school secretary. So there was this one time someone was running for school president, and I wrote a rap for him so he could say it, and you know, little things like that.
Yeah.
And then it just progressed. By the time I hit high school, probably 10th, 11th grade, I was really like crafting songs, writing songs. It moved from just writing thoughts and poetry into like actually creating songs. And then once I hit college, it was like full on. Um, I at one point I left college to pursue a music career and had a record deal, and from there it's just been, music every day.
Expression every day,
Yeah.
something amazing to say and share. I know that space, and I think, a lot of what you share is healing, and your word, your message, your vibes. It's just something that everybody has to get into. So how did you both meet? Okay. Have, you know, it's still music, it's in that space, but there's so many people out here in the world. Like,
Yeah.
how did you two meet and decide, you know what, we're a duo?
Yeah. It was I mean, for as many, so I've been in, a lot of different configurations and groups throughout my career. And this, so you asked how we meet and do that. Like, this is something that has grown super organically. Like, not to take away from any of the other situations I was in groups, but it hasn't been anything that has flowed so natural and felt so natural and organic. So us meeting, it was really like, oh, this is wild. Like, she just offered to play harp with me. I'm like, that's pretty wild.
Heart.
But yeah, but I'm like, but I was so intrigued and curious. I reached out and sent her music, and she played on and sent it back. And it it sounded good, but also something about it felt good. Like, I couldn't put my finger on it, but I just knew that I was moved by the sounds that were coming from that harp. And I've not ever worked with a harp before, a harpist. Like, so it was like, it felt really special. And then, we started working together. And for the longest, Christine didn't let me know she could sing. Like, she just played harp. And so that was the thing. And then this one time, we had a show, and the people that we had to do the singing and other parts weren't able to make it. And so I'm like, your voice is like kind of raspy and like it sounds a little different. I wonder what it would sound like if you sing. Can you sing? And then she sang, and I was like, what? This whole time?
I had the same face because I was listening when she was just playing the harp, and then she
Right.
was singing, and I was like, oh my
Yeah.
gosh, it's a
Yeah.
very catchy, very unique sound.
Yep.
Beautiful, Christine.
It
I'm
is.
just like very, very beautiful. You guys got to come out. When you get out here, we're gonna just set it up outside, and
Yeah. Hey, we're
and
with it. We're with it.
we're gonna
Definitely.
meet the new neighbors. Well, that's what I bring to the table. You guys got cheese and wine. Oh, that's not no. I got I don't know if we could get the harp on the. Well, I guess we could get the harp on the plane.
Yes, we can.
Yeah.
You can play and say, "Let me on, let me on." They'll give you anything you want. So that's amazing. I think that's how a lot of and in this is a relationship, right? Because there's a lot of respecting time and schedules and what you guys have in your lives separate outside of music. And it's just how you guys vibe and put everything together and say, you know what, this is a duo that really works. We work well. It's natural. It's like, great and divine that this is meant to be in this time and space that you guys, produce these vibrations for us to heal, to love, and to express. So I'm very grateful for that. So, Christine, did you always play or have music in mind How did this start out for you as far as the music world and space?
Yeah, so my grandparents, different grandparents on each side, but my grandpa on my mom's side and my grandma on my dad's side, they both played piano. And they, in different ways, taught me how to play piano. So I started playing when I was 7. And actually, the piano is really similar to the harp. It doesn't look like it, or you wouldn't really, I didn't know until I was really introduced to it. And it's just like all the strings on the inside of the piano are on their side. It's like an exposed piano. And so your fingers are the hammers. So a lot of harp teachers really encourage students to learn a strong foundation of piano. So it was easier to pick it up. Maybe easier is not the right word, but there was a lot of foundational skills already learned because I knew piano pretty well. And then you just then have to focus on learning like the techniques of the harp. So about in 2004, I started playing the harp.
Well, that's a good way to describe it. I know you answered before I started to say, so, I can try and play the piano and then I can go into being pretty beginner stage, not efficient, but pretty good at the harp. But then you said not easy, but it's foundation. So okay, that answers my, that was my next question. But okay. So I'll leave that to you. But that's a good way of explaining that, because when you think about it, now that you say if you hit certain keys on the piano, it does have, it's a little deeper of a sound. Maybe because it has a hood on top of it, it's other stuff, but it does sound somewhat similar now that you say, and the soothing sound of it. That, yeah, I don't have a piano, but the next time I listen to someone play the piano, I'll think about the harp, and then I'll call you like, you know what that was? It's similar. I asked him to open it up and take the strings out and put on the. He said no, it would mess up his skit, but well, that's awesome. So 7 years old. So you both come from musical backgrounds, and I think music in the home is amazing. I think when I was carrying my daughter, well, it's not that I think, but when I was carrying my daughter, I listened to a lot of Mozart. I listened to a lot of classical music, and I remember a time when they talked about removing music from schools, the art programs from schools, and I felt that that was probably one of the most horrible things to suggest.
For sure.
Because we need balance with our education. We need our creative side.
Yeah.
And I think that having that in the home makes a difference in, I think, a person, period.
For sure.
Not you listening to some rap, if you really want to get up and get motivated, and you want to put on something heavy, just because you want to get moving,
Yeah.
then what you have to. But when you want to relax, you know how to change it up, how to change the mood in the home.
Sure.
So it makes a big difference. Now, this past 2023, how was that for you guys? Like, how many different cities did you travel to? Do you remember?
Yeah, 2023 was probably our busiest year thus far. We did a lot of traveling. We did Hawaii, Maui, and Hana. We did like the West Coast.
Yeah.
A crazy West Coast tour. We did Texas,
Yeah.
Austin, Texas,
Green Bay in the middle there.
Green Bay, yeah. Man, Canada. We did a lot of traveling. We played, I believe, 111 shows in 2023.
111 shows. That is 111. Our 11s. Well, we fans, friends, there's a thing with us with 11s. We love 11s. So we did they did 111 shows. That's like, okay, End of show, mic drop. That's it. It's over. 11 was mentioned. It's it. You know. But what I want to ask you, 111 shows, a lot of different cities, different countries. There's so much change. I mean, people go to work. I mean, there's 365 days in a year. And if you look at doing one a month, that's 12, but you did more than one a month. So what was that like? Preparation from start preparation. First of all, you're practicing. That's a full-time job in itself.
Sure.
Creating music, practicing, performing, the behind the scenes stuff, packing, making sure you have enough of this, that, you know, healthy,
That,
being healthy.
yep. That's all the like that's the hardest and like almost most important part of it. Like performing is still work, but it's fun work. And it's like we're like that's our time to be like
Wow, yeah.
it's everything outside of that is like you got to have it, you know, extremely polished and as tight as possible.
So
Because if you think about it, like you have to like all the flights, like so there was one point in that year where we did a tour, 20 shows
Yep.
in 30 days.
I think it was 2024.
24 shows in 30 days. And within those 30 days, there were 5 flights. And so we had to like there wasn't a lot of time for anything other than performing, pack up, make sure you get good sleep because you have to get up and do it the next day and perform and give this energy. So, you know, Christine is really good with like list and planning and creating the travel route, knowing which flights to catch, what airlines to get here or there in the best amount of time for us to be able to go rent a car and get to the show on time. So all of that stuff is like where you really have to work at and be on top of. And like it's a blessing. We both know each other's strong points. So in order to make this team successful, we focus on each other's strong points and we know what, okay, you're good at this, so you take care of that, and I'll take care of this, and we trust each other with that. So that's really what keeps the the wheels spinning and moving forward, outside of doing the performance.
So a lot of what you do is preparation for the show, for performance, your day to day, your day in and day out. So what do you do for self-care? When do you get time for you? Because maybe people think, and maybe they have this misconception that, you know, you have a lot of time. All you're doing is just singing. You get up there and you sing. I want people to know that those in the music industry know how hard it is and how time consuming it is. How many times you have to practice, sometimes how late you're staying up because you don't feel your music's good enough at some point. You're like, I want to do
Of
it again.
course, of
I want to
course.
do it again and again and again.
Yep.
And so tell me, what do you like to do outside of music? Not discounting because you love this beautiful thing, but what else do you like to do? And when do you find time to do it?
Well, it's an interesting thing because this is our life and it's different than like any other job that I've experienced before where you show up at 9, you leave at 6, and then you kind of close shop and prepare a little bit for the next day. But there isn't really a separation. So like you're saying, finding that balance, I enjoy every part of it, which is kind of rewarding to know that I'm on the right path. But that might mean getting to a show an hour early to take a walk around the town. And yeah, we might not go on the excursions or, find all the cool things to do, but it's little things like that, like window shopping in a place you've never been before. And just even like people watching in a new place. Or if we're close to the ocean, taking a few minutes to, pull over and take a look at it.
Mhm.
So, yeah, we don't have much time to often explore the places, but it's beautiful that the time that we get, we try to take as much of that, um, which I know it doesn't answer your question as like a different passion, but just like traveling, being in the places, talking to different people, going to a coffee shop and being like, hey, what's the cool place to grab a slice of pizza around here, like.
I think you answered it for me, because what I wanted to get at was that you found a way to create some self-care and self-love, whether or
Mhm.
not in your busy schedule. I know it's a lot, and it's not a 9 to 5, it's a day in, once you open your eyes to the time you close your eyes at night, because you're continuously enjoying your passion, and it's what you love. There's no closing that. You are your brand, and your music, it's everything. You're always constantly thinking of new material. You can go to the beach. It's in you. It's your DNA. And
Mhm.
what I was getting at is what you shared is taking a moment. And sometimes those self-care moments aren't, okay, I need to go on a cruise, but you're going on a cruise, maybe a performance on a cruise, but you do get the chance to explore some of the things on the ship. You get to meet, that is a grand thing. Like, I love to travel, and I like to meet new people. I like to do the same thing. If I'm shopping, it can get a little carried away, but no, we're not talking about me. So, but it's those small things that people set aside and they forget about, that are very meaningful.
Mhm.
It's
Sure.
those are the things to pull over. The fact that you can just pull over, walk down, take shoes off, and just enjoy the beauty that's right in front of you. And it can be a mountain, it can be a wave, it could be anything like that. And that's what I wanted to share, because self-care and self-love doesn't always look like you have a week off from something else. And especially when you're an entrepreneur, you're constantly having to produce and find ways. You're very creative, so it doesn't turn off for you. And so, Kuf, like for you, it's probably similar,
Yep, it's
but
similar.
share.
Um, I like same thing, like if there's time we get to a place and have even just an hour or so to kind of just sit. Um, but also I really enjoy photography. So I have my camera with me always. And if we get somewhere and I can walk around the city or town, whatever it is, and capture those moments, that's self-care for sure.
I've seen some of your pictures. You're really good too. Look at that.
Yeah, I love capturing moments.
Yes, I agree. I love that too. And I have my phone with me when we go, and we always say, "Oh, I gotta get a camera." I have one, but sometimes I want to look really cool with the extended lens, like I'm professional student, trying to catch that hummingbird that's there for like 0.257
Yeah,
or
yeah, right.
milliseconds.
Yeah.
But I can appreciate that, because with your schedule, it's constant. And on the show here, I like to let people know that no matter what it is, what your profession is, and I talk to a lot of entrepreneurs, and I want entrepreneurs on the show, small business people, or if you have corporations, it doesn't matter. The message and how you're sharing and what you're sharing is what's important to me, and that I think is important to our viewers, because there's a lot of people on their grind, and they're really want to make it happen.
Mhm.
And so when I think of what your bumped on course would be, like how you feel that you're bumped on course, I'm going to ask you this, but it really seems like you had a really strong foundation in music, you
Mhm.
know. Now I'm going to go into the genre of music, the type of music that you have produced. um, what would you say is that one thing or a couple of things that has bumped you on course to perform this genre of music, this beautiful vibration?
Mm.
You want to go first?
Yeah. For me, listening.
Mm.
I think that has been really a skill that I've learned and also used, um, because I wouldn't say that I grew up listening to a lot of hip hop. Um, I know, I know like hit songs, just from hearing music and enjoy it. Um, but by listening and being able to figure out where um, I can best fit in has helped me understand um, a culture that I didn't, the hip hop culture and what it's about, and how it is all about the full body, mind, and experience. It's about talking to people at the show. It's about what you're choosing to express when you're wearing. It's about album cover art. And by listening and watching and hearing people's experience, I've been able to learn and really figured out a place in that.
Mm. Well, that's beautiful. I can understand that, it's almost mirrored sometimes finding yourself in it's not you're finding yourself in the world, but finding out who you are
Mhm.
as you listen to what's being presented to you. And sometimes the things that aren't physically being said, listening can be many forms of listening. But I understand, and I think that's beautiful. So for you, Kuf, what was your like bumped on course to go this route?
Um, I think there were like a few. Um, the first would be growing up surrounded by it. Um, I would say the second was like actually performing for, the first time. And even if those performances weren't the best, um, it gave me like an insight, or like I saw how people reacted. I felt how I reacted.
Mm.
And then I also uh yeah, that experience, the feeling I had was I felt really good.
Mhm.
Even if the performance wasn't that great, I still was happy that I was up there and expressing myself. And then seeing people's reaction, it wasn't a thing like, oh my gosh, they're going crazy. It was just like they were listening.
Mm.
They were moved, like emotionally, like even if it was bad, if it was good, if they clapped, something happened
Mhm.
that made them have a reaction. So I really enjoyed that. And then so that's at the beginning of the career, and then over time you do it. And I think the final thing that bumped me onto this course was this project,
Mm.
meeting Christine, and actually, like, for the longest time, I would hear things in my head musically, but I never was pushed to create it and
Mhm.
and get that sound out of my head. So, working with Christine, as a musician and someone who was like also wanting to know more about hip hop. Like she pushed me to express myself even more, and I got into actually creating the music. You know, before I would always work with producers, and so this like actually forced me in a good way to express myself even more and create exactly what I'm hearing in my head. And that definitely bumped me on course to like, you know,
Yeah,
to
beautiful.
create and share something super authentic.
Very authentic. And to release that, that had to feel amazing just in itself, even though, the crowd and everyone that's listening to the sound and the vibration, they're they're getting something magical. But the fact that that it's been sitting up here and now
Yeah.
it's released, the type of, you know, happiness and joy that you have,
Mhm.
they don't have a clue, right? They don't have a clue like where you are. You are just like, oh my gosh, this is such a
Yeah.
high vibration, and I'm feeling like this release of something. And it's not that, you're looking to check off some check boxes, but it's the fact that you were able to translate that
For
and
sure. For
put it
sure.
out there. And then people love it. And you're like, I knew this was good. I just had to get that out. So that is beautiful. I want people to know that, that they can become bumped on course. The journey is about being bumped on course. It's your course. It's no matter what it is. It's a part of being bumped in that direction. And you can take it and run with it, or
Mhm.
you can stay a little stuck sometimes, but it's still your course. And the course can be beautiful if you choose to embrace it in the fashion of moving forward to
Mhm.
something beautiful. We've had a lot of people have had some very unforeseen circumstances, and unfortunately, uh, they can be stuck. They can be stuck in a space, in an emotional space. And we are hearing more and more people suffering from, depression, mental depression, and it is not easy. But I love how what you do can help them pull them out of that space and bring joy and light and creativity and something fun day in and day out. So we are coming up on some time where there's a little closure, but I wanted to ask you because you were doing amazing already, 111 shows that you have performed in 2023. And I know that you're go-getters, and I know that you want bigger, you want better. Some people would say that's it, bam, mic drop, 111, I'm good. But you continue to say, we're doing bigger and we're doing better things. The mission is possible. Now, some people would say, I think that's all I got, but you're not saying that. What is it that you are doing that we can share with others to help them believe that the mission is possible? You set a goal for yourself. What is it that you do, or how do you work yourselves through a process of making that mission possible? We can go back to 2023 because I know in 2022 we've had, before that we had COVID, we had lockdown, we had so many things. How did you
Mhm.
get yourselves out of that like space of where we go from we can't move or go anywhere,
Right.
but you're doing all right, to now I'm gonna have 111 shows toured, you know, in 2023. How did you
Mm.
make that mission possible?
I think one thing is like always it's kind of looking at things always being optimistic. So throughout the whole time when we couldn't go anywhere because of lockdowns and stuff, um we weren't ever like, oh man, how are we going to, we didn't think, like we didn't let that come into our psyche. It was the whole time like, oh, when we get back out, let's plan now, so when we get back out, like, it was always thinking ahead and looking forward to it. Like, a lot of times when I write, I write, if I haven't lived that or experienced it, I write it to bring it to fruition, because you write something down, you look at it, you read it, you get it in your mind, and you become that. So I think while we were in a place where we couldn't do anything, we were putting it out there so strong in our own mind, like, all right, we're gonna hit the ground running as soon as we get out. And so, like, keeping that, I think we just kept that mentality, and we're like, okay, we're here, but we want to go here. And then after that, we want to go here. So let's keep moving. And, like, if we got to work later one night to send out 200 emails instead of 100, like, let's do that, because it's a numbers game. And the more you put out, the better your chances are. So I think we just, like, have that mentality of keep going, keep going. Like, that's what we're here for, right?
Yeah.
Right. We're on earth to live your dream and experience as much as possible and share as much as you can. And so, like, for me, it's like, what else is there to do? I'm like, this is my path, and this is what I want to do. And I can't control it. Like, who knows what's going to happen, but I just put as much as I can into this.
Right. So there was quite a bit that you shared. So there was, being optimistic, and this is true. This is real. I want people to know that it's real. It's tangible. It's been done. So, being optimistic, planning, if you have to do the extra work, if you have to stay up and send out the extra emails, then you do it. And, saying, well, this is what I'm here for. I'm here to continue on every day and be better. And so you continue writing it down and looking at it, manifesting it, thinking it, believing it. And that's all very true. And I want people to know you're not the first that have said that. And I'm loving the fact that I'm hearing it repeatedly throughout my interviews, that people are saying this, you're manifesting this, you're believing it, you're writing it down, you're giving yourself a plan, you're planning it out, you're using each other's strengths and saying, well, and this can be relative to anything. It can be relative in family life. It's, what are our strengths? What are our weaknesses? Corporations, you guys have managers, you have team members, you work together. What are their strengths? What are their weaknesses? If you want to achieve something, it's doable. You can be optimistic, be strong about it, and stay firm with it. Set a plan, put it in place, and perform it and do it. Action.
There you go.
And that's how you get 111 shows 2023, and they're performing and doing so much more. This is on top of the regular day-to-day planning, just making sure you eat and stay healthy. We didn't talk about you not feeling well on that trip. Nobody wants to hear you're not feeling well. I get all of that, Everybody wants to see you perform. You got to get out there and do it. What do you mean? What do you mean your throat's a little sore? No, get up there and do it. Through all of that, you have put forth some amazing shows, beautiful sounds. You're creating still. I love it. I love you guys. I think you're amazing. And
love you.
Yes.
Thank you. I take it all in. I take it all in. And I think, viewers, this is definitely something to look at when we think about how can we be better? How can we make our mission possible? I watched the movie Mission Impossible, but I'm sorry, I think everything was possible. It was done. As hard as it was done. Being creative and thinking of ways to do it, manifesting it, being optimistic, putting in a plan, using people's strengths and weaknesses, utilizing your resources, making it happen. And if something doesn't necessarily work out exactly as planned, that's not the end of it. It's just something that you have to plan and work around. But don't stop. Don't stop believing in yourself. Don't stop doing for yourself. You're your biggest advocate, and everyone will love you for it. So, with that being said, Kuf and Christine, I love you. I'm so glad that you were on the show. I can't wait for your new music to come out and your new single that's coming out in March. I'm just going to ask you to do me a favor because, you know, if they don't believe it from me, maybe they believe it from you because you had 111 shows done in 2023 all over the world. I'm sorry, I was in Hawaii. I can't believe I missed you, but at the same time, you know, it's like, oh, you know, you were in the city. Oh man, I didn't know. Like, you know how that goes. But maybe they'll believe it from you because you also have been there, you've done it. I want them to know. I want them to hear you guys say it, put that vibration out there that the mission is possible. Can you share that with our viewers?
Of course, 110%.
The
The mission
mission
is
is
possible.
Yay! Yes, friends, you heard it here first on the Franz Experience with Knotz and Christine Elise. Check them out. Go to www.knotz.com. Check out their new vibrations, their new album that's coming out, new single that was released February 13th, the second that's coming out. There's a rotation on March 9th. Check it out, okay? This is Franz of the Franz Experience. Peace. Take care.
Peace.